All right, so at this point, I'm just more or less going to be um, extending this to do the side panels, and then basically go from there. So uh, it might be easier. I'm actually going to get rid of this one, so I just have to do less. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go and I'm gonna bring this across like this, and we're just going to do every other one like this, not like that, like this, and like this. Now, obviously, you have an ear. You're going to have to incorporate this into the ear depending on what your situation is. Um, so something not like that. So something kind of like this. And then what I could do is I could just hold shift and fill in the space in between, or do this if it's not working the way that it's supposed to, like that. It's just easier, I think, to try and do it this way as opposed to trying to do them all at once. All right, and then we'll do, I would say there's one more for the side panel, so I'm just going to do the same thing again. We'll just pull this up to there. So I will pull this across, pull the second one across, third one, fourth one, and fifth one. And then we'll just go pull this a little bit over. Okay. And then I'm just going to pull each one of these up to the corresponding bit here, like so. This is obviously really big and broad, but it's real easy to add the edge loops afterwards. But instead of having to do it multiple times, I could just do it twice and get most of the way. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So here I can just go ahead and I'm just going to create them as basically, actually, let's not do that one. We'll do this one first. Cool. That was not what I was trying to do. Uh, I'm just going to create them as I need them. So we'll just go like this. And I'm just going to grab every other one. And I'll just hit control and then click and drag this guy to here. We'll do control and click and drag this guy to here. And then I'll just do another one here and we will click and drag this guy to here. And then I'm just going to bring each one of these down to the corresponding bits like so. Try that again. Okay. And we're just going to go right down the line. There's an extra one here. I'm just going to get rid of it for now. Like that. Okay. So now I've gone all the way around the head. It's not super great geometry, but it'll be fine. And I'm just going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to get this to go all the way across. And then I'm going to add an edge loop here. So I'm just going to go basically where I think that the top of the head should go. So more or less kind of across this way. And you're going to end up with a big gap on the side, but I'll show you how to approach that. Let's pull this down a little bit. Um, okay, so I'm just going to get this to go all the way over. And then once we do this, like that, okay. So now you have more or less, I'm going to get rid of this just so it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, so now you have this big gap here, right? So now we just need to more or less fill this part in. Um, I think I'm going to do one more here because I feel like that's actually the front. So just going to try and get this to go from, and I'm going to bring this over because this feels a little bit too much to the side, like so. And then we'll just add another one in here and then like that. Okay. Because this feels like the back and then that feels like the front. Okay. And then we'll just bring this across like so. Okay. So you have this big gap here. So what we need to do is we just need to add the number of edge loops that we need in order for this to basically match up. So I'm going to start on this side. And you can see we just need more here. So I'm actually going to, I don't know why that's not working. I'm going to get, oh, because this isn't connected. There we go. click here, and I'm going to click here, and then he just basically drag this guy down like so. I'm going to move this one over a little bit, and then I'm going to let's pull this one over. It's better if while you're doing this, you try to match them up as best you can, but so we'll go like that, and then we'll just try again. Match that one up. Theoretically, it will work. Put one here, match this one up. We need to put another one here, match this one up. All right, and then this one can go to here. And then you can see I have not enough to go across here. So I'm going to put another one here, and then this guy will go to this spot. But I need more here. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to hold control. I'm going to click here. And let's just go like this. This can go here. And then what I'm going to do is just fill this one in. And then I'm just going to hold control and put one here. And then you'll see that that is fine. Okay. So I now have the entirety of the head sort of complete, at least the base geometry. So it represents the stuff. But you might notice that it's a little janky. See how it's all janky? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold Shift and then, oh, that's how I do it. Shift and scroll wheel will change the size of this brush. So I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. I'm gonna hold Shift and I'm just gonna brush over it like this. And you can see where it's really pinched right here. Like, see how pinched that was? See how this is big and these are small? It will spread it out and basically relax the form. It's really good for big, broad areas like this. And it will even out the geometry, like in here, where I really want it, right? Now, what can happen is if I do it here, you'll see it'll actually mess up your stuff. Like you might not want it quite like that. So just be careful when you go to, okay, that was interesting. When you go to do it. So you don't want to, you're going to have to still manually move a lot of these things around. We'll just smooth that out a little bit. Down in here, I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to scroll wheel this back down. And I'm just going to so you can see right there, it's not relaxing quite the way that I would want it to. So I might have to just manually do some of this, um, which is a little annoying. So I'd rather have it do it for me. Um, so yeah, that's basically the idea. Is we just want to relax where we can. Let's roll this out. Especially the big open broad areas, okay? And then you'll have a much better uh, topology. Okay. I'm going to also on the eye here, we're going to add more geometry like this. And the reason being is that we want to be able to blink and things like that. So I'm just going to add one for now. We can add more later. I would add more to the mouth here, but he already has quite a bit. So I'm not really, these can kind of get pushed around a little bit more. So I think we're going to call that good as far as this step is concerned. Um, Next, we're going to need to do is basically put the eyes in and just do some general shape adjustment, just with our normal tools and not the retopology tools.